beautiful souls. Welcome to Soulful Sessions with Rory, the podcast where we dive deep inside the matters of the heart, mind, and spirit. And I'm your host, Rory, and I am thrilled to embark on this soulful journey with each and every one of you. Soulful Sessions with Rory is your safe space for introspection, inspiration, and maybe even a little revelation. So whether you're sipping your morning coffee, winding down after a long day, or just seeking a moment of connection, you're in the right place. Before we dive into today's Soulful Exploration, I want to remind you that Soulful Sessions with Rory is designed for entertainment purposes only. While we may touch on profound topics and meaningful discussions, it is important that you approach it with an open heart and a sense of curiosity. Life is a journey, and so is this podcast. We'll navigate the realms of self-discovery, spirituality, and personal growth, but remember, the insights we share here are not a substitute for professional advice or guidance. Always connect with the appropriate authorities when regarding your own unique circumstances. So whether you're a seasoned seeker or just dipping your toes into the waters of self-exploration, get ready for a blend of wisdom, laughter, and a touch of magic in each episode of Soulful Sessions with Rory. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a soulful moment. Follow me on social media, on IG at Soulful Explorer, at Facebook, Listening Veteran Life Coach, and Snapchat, Rory space Soulful with 2 L's Explorer. So that way you can share your thoughts and be a part of this incredible community. Now let the journey begin. Sit back, relax, and let's feel our souls together. On today's Soulful Exploration, we're going to talk about self-love. Now, the reason I'm talking about self-love is because I've lately been running into a lot of people who have been getting angry and upset and bothered by, in my opinion, things that really shouldn't even concern them. Now, let me explain what I mean. You ever had a family member tell you who you are? Somebody who said, hey, you know what? You would have a much better life if you did this, and this. Or, why don't you have more kids? Or why don't you have a kid? Why aren't you married now? Why don't you have the job you're supposed to have? Why didn't you go to college? Why didn't you get... It's an abundance of people who are literally trying to tell you how to live your life. And let's be honest, when we respect somebody, and respect, if you look up the definition again, it goes back into admiration and honoring them and understanding, there's something about them that you like. When you respect someone and they tell you that you're not enough, it can hurt. Because let's be honest, even though they probably mean well, what they're doing is ultimately telling you you're not enough. Now, you would think that they're the issue. This person came to me and said what I wasn't doing. They challenged my ability. They challenged who I was. I know I am more than enough. And you're angry. You're so angry that you find yourself, you don't want to talk to them. You may even want to get into a physical altercation with them. But you're not happy. And you don't appreciate what they said to you, or you don't appreciate how they said it. How dare they? You're already struggling with your own personal demons, and all of a sudden, here's this person shedding light on what they believe you should be doing in your life. Why would you start your own business? You didn't even graduate from high school. Or why didn't you go? You can't pursue this goal of yours. You don't have a place to live. You don't have a car. So ultimately, people are not trying to judge you. But what we don't realize is that a lot of people operate from their own personal fears. For instance, if somebody's asking you, why aren't you married? But they're married happily or whatever. Or just married. Because we know some of these people ain't all that happy. But that's another story. What they're saying, or could be saying, let me say that. What they could be saying is that I validate myself because of my marriage. So if I validate myself because of my marriage, then I should validate you because of your marriage. Somebody says, well, why don't you make X amount of dollars? Because again, they're looking at themselves and they're projecting their fears and their hurts onto you. Well, if I make this amount of money, then you should make this amount of money. And let's be honest, as parents, we do it to our kids. We tell them how they should be living their life. It's not intentional, but it's what you were taught. Why you leave that job? That was a good job. You had good benefits. Yeah, I saw you were miserable every day, but you could work that job. And we literally put ourselves in a position where we are doing to our children, to our friends, the things that are done to us. Oh, you should be better. But who are you to tell somebody what better is? What's better for me is not going to be better for you. We have a different version of what better is. When I'm helping people, whether I'm doing life coaching or I'm doing therapy, one of the things I try to do is let them understand that I'm approaching this situation from my perspective. Doesn't mean that I'm right, but if it resonates with them, then they can use what I advise. Because what happens is when you tell someone that what they're doing isn't correct, you just became their judge. But who are you to tell them it's not correct? Right and wrong is relative. It's subjective. So I would think you may want to consider what you consider to be right or wrong. And so what I try to do now is I will tell someone, here's an idea. Tell me, what do you think? What are your goals? And let me help you achieve those. Because when it's all said and done, I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to criticize or chastise somebody because they don't live the way that I think they should be living. It's not fair. It's not fair to them, and it's definitely not fair to me. But what we're talking about is self-love. The reason I went through that first is because self-love, when you truly, truly love yourself, it really doesn't matter what somebody says to you. It doesn't matter that somebody thinks that you don't have the right job. Somebody thinks that you don't have the right skill set, or that, in lack of better words, you're a bum. I remember when I was a recruiter for the military, I didn't have a college degree. And I remember going into some of these schools, talking to the administration. And one of the questions they would ask is, where did you get your degree from? Street University? But initially, I would feel some kind of way. Because in that moment, I felt like they were challenging my intellect. I felt like they were challenging my ability. I would be hot. Because in my mind, I knew that I was smarter. I knew that I was more intelligent, but I didn't have a degree. But what that really said is that I was looking for them to validate me. And I listened to them, and it hurt my feelings. And that hurt manifested as anger. But guess what? If I love myself, truly, truly love myself, it wouldn't matter what they said. And I know this is true because later on, when I began to love myself unconditionally, I did not care what somebody said to me. It had no relevance. Oh, so you don't have a degree? No, I do not. And I'm quite happy. And oh, by the way, I know your salary. I make much more. Of course, I didn't say the last part. I just threw that in there. Self-love, it involves the practice and habits that you basically nurture your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. When I ask clients, how do you know you love yourself? Oh, I tell me every day. What was the last thing you did for you? And I'm not talking about buying gifts. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about on a daily basis, what do you do for you? If self-love is nurturing your mental, emotional, and physical well-being, what are you doing to cater to those things every day? You go to work 9 to 5 or, 12 hours, whatever you're doing. And when you get home, you just exist. You're not nurturing your well-being. You got kids, you're taking care of the kids 24/7. You're working. You're not nurturing your well-being. So what we're going to talk about is how you learn to truly love yourself. Number one, you practice, keyword, practice self-care. See, we constantly talk about self-care in every video blog, everything. We talk about, oh yeah, you gotta treat yourself, things like that. But I want to tell you that the key to self-care is rejuvenation. You have to do things that rejuvenate you. One of the things that I do for self-care is I get in my swimming pool or my hot tub. I'll have a cigar, a glass of whiskey, cognac, or wine, and I relax. I rejuvenate. You can do anything. You can take a bath. You can read a book. You can just take the time to be at peace. Go get a massage. Just listen to some music. Take time for yourself in a quiet room. Get your peace. That's practicing self-care, because you're not doing this once a week. It's regularly. Find those little moments every single day, whether it's 30 minutes, 15 minutes, or 5 minutes, 25 times. Find that moment. One of the most important things that I learned about self-care is setting boundaries. My do not disturb button is on 10. When I tell you, I hit the do not disturb button because it allows me time to myself. Oh, I have people that have gotten angry. Well, did you block me because I couldn't get to you? No, the do not disturb button was on. I was having time with Rory. You know that guy? He's kind of important to me. It's kind of a big deal. Setting the boundaries, learning to say no. If you're working for a corporation, if you're working for a friend, if you just got off work, sometimes you have to say no and put you first. You are the most important person in your life, not your children, not your spouse, not your family. You are. How can you be a benefit to them if you're tired, if you're exhausted, if you're just not present? So you have to learn to set those boundaries and put you first. And I'm done. I'm not doing anything for anybody else today. Get with me tomorrow or this week. It's okay to say no. And surround yourself with people who respect those boundaries. Because if it's somebody that doesn't respect your boundaries, you're going to have a really difficult time finding your peace. This includes your kids. Now, you can't just throw the kids out because they don't respect your boundaries, but you can teach them that boundaries are important and that there will be no navigating away from the boundaries, including your spouse. Now, every day, something else that you can do for self-care that is also part of practicing is positive self-talk. Replace those negative thoughts with positive affirmations. I believe in mantras. I believe every day you should say something to yourself in the mirror, once in the morning, once in the evening. Because you got to remind yourself who you are. Because sometimes people will try you. They will try to cross those boundaries. Sometimes you, not loving yourself, will forget who you are, your value, your worth. And you go into that job and you let people tell you who you are. You need to look in that mirror with your head held high and remind yourself, I am joy, I am peace, I am love, I am intelligent, I am outstanding, I am outgoing. I will achieve all of my goals. I will find the perfect mate. Me and my mate will be happy. We will vacation. We will do all the things that I set forth. Today is another day to begin again, and I am happy. That's a mantra. You say that every day in the mirror, before you go to work and before you go to bed, because you're teaching yourself who you are. Don't tell me who you used to be. I don't care about that person. I want to know, who are you today and who are you going to be? And that's why you're doing it, because you're setting the stage for a new version of you. So you got to have positive self-talk every day. When things are bad, when you've gotten that bill notice or something just didn't hit right, You look yourself in the mirror and say, it's okay. This is temporary. When you lose your job, this is temporary. The door's open for another opportunity. I just can't see it right now, but it's coming. Have a healthy lifestyle. You know, I am notorious for not eating healthy before. Gained a lot of weight through depression, anxiety. But when you start loving yourself, you live a healthier lifestyle. You pay attention to the foods that you eat. Now, I'm not telling you to go on some strict diet where you're trying to starve yourself or lose pounds overnight. What I'm telling you is pay attention. I love a good cigar and a good drink, but I can't love that every day. I love donuts. Can't enjoy it every day. You know, I love a greasy hamburger. I love bread. I love pasta. But I also love being alive. I also love being happy, because the food that you eat would definitely affect the way you feel every day. So that's something that you need to understand. What you're eating is affecting how you feel. Well, how does that work, Rory? I'll say it like this. You know, our bloodstream carries oxygen to our brain, and that affects our mood. The more oxygen we get, the better off we are. But if you're eating heavy foods that's slowing down the flow of your blood, that's making your body work harder, and you don't exercise and you don't do anything, you'll find yourself sluggish, sad, depressed, and you won't even know it has a lot to do with the food you eat, you know. Now, some of us don't have choices and we have to eat certain things, or we can't eat some of the healthiest things that we want. But we're in a society where there's so many other alternatives. Do the research, make it important, make it a priority, and change the way you do business. Pursue your passions. Don't put them on the shelf and just let them sit there. Pursue it. You want to start a podcast? Start a podcast. You want to build model planes? Build model planes. You want to learn how to golf? Learn how to golf. Pursue your passions. That's how you treat yourself when you love yourself. You give yourself something to look forward to. I just started another hobby, but we're not going to talk about it today. Custom shoes. So pursue your passions and be okay with it. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, that's stupid. Why would you do that? Why would you start painting? You're too old to learn to paint. You're too old to learn how to rollerblade. It's not about them. When you love yourself, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Do it and have fun with it. My number one thing, which is in the middle of my list, is seek professional help. Whether it's a life coach or a therapist, psychiatrist, psychologist, get help. When you love yourself, you find a way to balance yourself out. You get professional help so they can help you see what you don't see is wrong. If you feel like something is off, but you can't figure it out, get help. I've had clients that come to me and they said, I don't know what's wrong. I just know I need to see somebody. And together we walk that path. And I let them know, okay, maybe you need a life coach, maybe you need a therapist. You don't know. But I wear both hats. So that's one thing. Now, don't hesitate to do that one. And make that one important. Celebrate your small victories every single day. What's a small victory? You woke up this morning, small victory. You got through the day without cussing somebody out, small victory. You helped your child after work when you were exhausted and had no energy, small victory. Be careful how you celebrate, though. This one was very difficult for me, this next one, because I didn't know I needed it. But you have to forgive yourself. Self-forgiveness is difficult when you've held yourself to a standard that's so unrealistic. You have to learn to forgive yourself for not being the perfect parent. You got to learn to forgive yourself for not being the perfect spouse, for not being the perfect child, for not being the perfect employee, because that goes back to unrealistic expectations of self. It's okay to be human. It's okay to make choices that don't feel good. Notice I didn't say mistakes. I said choices that don't feel good. It's okay. But you have to tell yourself it's okay. So that's why it's important that you learn to forgive yourself. Now, this next one I'm still working on. Declutter your life. Remove physical and emotional clutter. What is that you mean? So physical clutter are actually things in your home, people that you have allowed to accumulate in your space that do nothing for you. The more stuff you have, the more you can't see your way, you can't find your way. That is not self-love. So you have to get rid of the clutter. And when you get rid of the clutter, you will notice that things change. And when things change, it can make you feel so much better. So, remove the emotional and physical clutter. Now, this next one is, it's up to you. Stay connected. Now, when I say stay connected, I'm not talking about with the people that hurt you or the people that judge you. I'm talking about staying connected with people who bring positive life and energy to you. I'm saying stay connected with the places, people, and things that bring joy. If you go to a place and that energy just excites you and makes you feel good in a positive way, that's what you got to stay connected with, right? So stay connected. Continuously strive for personal growth. When you love yourself, you're constantly seeking higher things to achieve for you, higher according to your standard, nobody else's. You know, every time I accomplish a goal, I create a new one to accomplish. But you also got to remember, part of my goals is to rest and enjoy life. Because when you love yourself, you do that. Now, this next thing is good. Just depends on your character, your personality. Journaling. Write down things every day. Reflect on your thoughts, your feelings. If you don't like journaling, don't journal. Sometimes people go dark places when they're writing. But give it a try. And if it feels good, write it down. If you're afraid that somebody's going to find your book, your journal, or your log that you put on your phone, create better security measures. Or don't do it. You got choices, you know. This next one is definitely for today's society. Limit your social media. Limit it. We got so much negativity. I remember I stopped watching the news on television. And I was like, I don't watch the news. I don't want to hear that negativity every day. Somebody dying, somebody getting hurt, no. How can I practice joy if I'm filling my head with worry, stress, anxiety through someone else's experience? And then I pick up my phone and I'm doing the exact same thing. So you have to limit your social media experience. You have to limit somebody commenting on something you did and trying to steal your joy. When you love yourself, you won't care about that. But just be careful, okay? This next one, I could not have said this one better myself. Treat yourself. Now, do it within means. You know what I mean? Like, do it within your budget. But treating yourself doesn't always have to be something financial. Just occasionally indulge in something just for you. Just for you. It could be getting in your pool. It could be taking a walk in the park. It could be quiet time in your car with just listening to music. Or it could be that shopping spree. I don't like that one. Because if it costs me money, but if it costs you time, I'm willing to give up some time to indulge and treat myself. At the end of it all, incorporating all of these into your practices and what you're doing on a day-to-day basis can help you learn to love yourself unconditionally. Because that's what I want you to achieve, unconditional love for self. If you can do that, you will be amazed at how other people treat you, because when you love yourself, the people that really like you, rock with you, or will love you, they will actually pour positivity into you. But when you don't love yourself, those crabs in the barrel, they trying to pull you down. See, everybody's life that look good is not good. So when they're giving you advice, that doesn't mean that their life is perfect. Remember what I said, a lot of times it's because they're projecting their negative things onto you. Well, you deserve better. But the only person that can give you better is you. So I want you to treat yourself very special. I want you to basically treat yourself like you're the VIP in your life. Not your kids, not your spouse, not your friends, not your family. Take care of you first, and then you can be a blessing to others. So that's all I got to say. I thank you for taking this time out. If you're in Texas, you can go to www.mentalhealthdefenseandfitness.com to schedule an appointment for mental health or even for life coaching. But either way, you can check me out. So thank you, beautiful souls, for joining me today on another enlightening episode of Soulful Sessions with Rory. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might benefit as we navigate the depths of introspection and explore the boundless possibilities of the human spirit. Remember that your journey is uniquely yours, and every twist and turn is a sacred part of your story. Embrace the whispers of your soul, and may the echoes of our conversations linger in your heart, sparking a flame of self-discovery. Until we meet again in the realm of shared wisdoms, stay true to your essence, stay connected to the rhythm of your soul, and always remember that you are a masterpiece in the making. Wishing you love, light, and infinite possibilities on your soulful journey. Until next time, this is Rory, signing off with gratitude and reverence for the magic that resides within each of you.